And then I'll start it back up. Oh, damn. Twitter's not even opening. Wow. Twitter's down. Damn, the hackers got Elon, man. The hackers done got Elon. Twitter's not working. Oh, no. That's unfortunate for the 10 likes that I get over there. How sad. All right. So we can squeeze in Facebook too. We'll call it Facebook. I have a story I never told, but one day I'll tell that. I don't know. One time this chick took advantage of me. She smoked dabs. She took advantage of me, and then she gave me a clown pin. Bro, I was a zombie. I don't know what I was doing. It was like a Diddy party. Serious, not even joking. Free Palestine! Okay, we're about to start this. Let's get ready. We got so much things to update, stories to talk about. We're just kind of moving quick through and breezing. Let me just launch this here. What am I doing? Here we go. Okay, let's start. You never knew me. What's up, everybody? So there was this story that happened. Crazy. Yes, last night on the evening of May 21st, outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C., resulting in the deaths of two Israeli embassy staff members, Yaron and Sarah. The couple were planning on getting engaged. And I guess, I don't know why this guy did it. Supposedly he yelled "Free Palestine." Actually, let's take a look at the video first real quick. I had it up here. He calmly waited, after killing them, calmly waited for police to arrive.
Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lashinsky, two Israeli embassy employees, were shot dead in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday night. Eyewitness video obtained by CNN appears to show the suspect in the deadly shooting as he's taken into custody.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Washington Metropolitan Police has identified the suspect as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez from Chicago. The shooting happened near the Capitol Jewish Museum.
Prior to the shooting, the suspect was observed pacing back and forth outside of the museum. He approached a group of 4 people, produced a handgun, and opened fire, striking both of our decedents.
Police say the suspect then went inside the museum, where he was arrested soon after.
So this is crazy. Why do this? I guess to get the message across for Palestine. This is they targeted a Jewish couple. Oh my God.
Good evening. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm Mayor of Washington, D.C. I am here with the Chief of the Metropolitan Police Department, Pamela Smith, and we are joined by members of the Washington, D.C. Public Safety Team and our partners in the federal government from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the special agent in charge as well as the Assistant Director in charge. We are also joined by the Attorney General for the United States, Pam Bondi, the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, Judge Pirro, as well as the Israeli Ambassador to the United States, Ambassador Leichter. We are here at the MPD headquarters to provide an update on a horrific shooting that happened shortly after 9 p.m. this evening near the Capitol Jewish Museum. I want to start by sending our condolences to the loved ones of the victims who were senselessly a victim of.
So the suspect's name, his name is Elias Rodriguez. He killed 2 Israeli ambassador staff, okay? We're going to play this press conference, and I'm going to play a little bit of, oh, this happened. I could have covered this last night. I went to sleep early last night. They say he may have ties to anti-war groups.
Of these crimes. I want to provide my prayers and condolences to the museum staff and the guests who are also gathering together in fellowship. The chief will share preliminary information from the investigation. I will say up front that there is no active threat in our community. What I do know is that the horrific incident is going to frighten a lot of people in our city and in our country. And I want to be clear that we will not tolerate this violence or hate in our city. We will not tolerate any acts of terrorism, and we're going to stand together as a community in the coming days and weeks to send a clear message that we will not tolerate anti-Semitism. I want to ask,
but y'all have been,
Chief Smith to talk about where we are with this investigation, followed by our FBI partners, and lastly, Ambassador Leichter.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm Chief Pamela A. Smith, Chief of Police for the Metropolitan Police Department, and I'll start by expressing my sincere condolences to both of the victims and the families, and also the attendees tonight at the Capitol Jewish Museum. At approximately 9:08 p.m. tonight, we received multiple calls for a shooting in the area of 3rd Street and F Street Northwest. Officers located 1 adult male and 1 adult female unconscious and not breathing at the scene. DC Fire and EMS responded, and despite all life-saving efforts, both victims succumbed to their injuries. The preliminary investigation indicates that both victims were exiting an event at the Capitol Jewish Museum located in the 500 block of 3rd Street Northwest.
I guess maybe he ambushed them
when the shooting occurred. We believe the shooting was committed by a single suspect who is now in custody. Prior to the shooting, the suspect was observed pacing back and forth outside of the museum. Geez. He approached a group of 4 people, produced a handgun, and opened fire, striking both of our decedents. After the shooting, the suspect then entered the museum and was detained by event security. Once in handcuffs, the suspect identified where he discarded the weapon, and that weapon has been recovered, and he implied that he committed the offense. The suspect chanted, "Free, free Palestine," while in custody. The suspect has been tentatively identified as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez of Chicago, Illinois. Our MPD case detectives are leading this investigation. I will now turn it over to Washington Field Office Associate Director Steve Jensen.
Thank you, Chief. I'm Steve Jensen, the Assistant Director in charge of the Washington Field Office. I'd also like to express my sincere condolences not only to the family of the victims, but to the ambassador and the grievance for the Israeli nation. Tonight, a heinous crime was committed, and the FBI stands with the Metropolitan Police Department to help not only investigate the homicide and provide support, but also to look into ties to potential terrorism or motivation based on a bias-based crime or a hate crime. That's our reason for being here. full support of the FBI to Metropolitan Police Department to resolve this. And I also want to express my sincere gratitude to Metropolitan Police Department for their quick action, their attempts to render aid despite the nature of the crime resulting in the death of the victims. Getting the subject in custody quickly resolved this issue and allows us to continue with the investigation. And with that, I'll turn it over to the ambassador.
Thank you. Really what I have to say this evening is thank you, Mayor, to your amazing staff, Attorney General, Ms. Bondi, Chief Attorney for Washington, Judge Janine Pirro. The couple that was gunned down tonight in the name of Free Palestine. It's a young couple about to be engaged. The young man purchased a ring this week with the intention of proposing to his girlfriend next week in Jerusalem.
Wow.
They were a beautiful couple who came to enjoy an evening in Washington's Cultural Center. I will say this: we are a resilient people. The people of Israel are resilient people, and the people of the United States of America are resilient people. Together we won't be afraid, together we'll stand, and we're going to overcome moral depravity of people who think that they're going to achieve political gains through murder. On the way in, Ms. Bondi was kind enough to hand me the phone. On the other line was the President of the United States, Donald Trump, who told me that his administration is going to do everything it can possibly do to fight and end anti-Semitism and the hatred that's being directed, the demonization and delegitimization of the State of Israel. Together with President Trump, our Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, will stand together tall and firm, and we will confront this moral depravity without fear and with determination. And now we'll turn to taking care of the families of these two victims. And again, I think the American administration and the city of Washington and the law enforcement officers who are on this case are going to get to the bottom of it and bring justice to this city and to the people of Washington and the United States and the people of Israel who are here feeling confident and safe in the city of Washington and around the United States of America. Thank you.
You can take a few questions, Chief.
Crazy political
Hi, Shamari Stone from Fox 5
statement.
DC. You say that there is a suspect in custody right now, and he walked into the museum. What is he telling investigators tonight?
Well, I don't know what he's telling them at this moment. What I do know is that he is in custody. And as you know, Amari, we have to conduct an investigation, and that requires us to ask many questions. At the time of this press conference, I'm not privileged to that information as of right now.
Hi, Evan Paris for CNN. Is there any indication when he entered the Jewish Museum that he was planning to carry out additional shootings? Was he trying to harm other people? Is there any indication? Can you tell us any more about that? And also for the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney, can you say whether, given the diplomatic component of this, does this become a federal investigation, a federal crime to be prosecuted by the federal government?
So in response to your first question, we are still conducting the investigation. And at this moment, again, it's preliminary. So you'll have to give us a little bit more time to determine what the motives were at this point.
Let me just jump in, Chief. And you heard from the chief and from the special agent in charge that MPD is investigating the homicides and the FBI's role. Of course, as always, when there is any possibility of a terrorist act or acts motivated by hate or other bias, the FBI will be conducting those investigations. All homicides are prosecuted in the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. by the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. Okay.
Carl Willis, 7 News. Just a question about, after everything that happened, the stance from local and possibly federal law enforcement about any protection moving forward or heightened security for this community.
Thank you for that question. And I'm going to turn to the chief, but we have a long history and a lot of practice in our city of working with Jewish organizations around safety and around protection. And we watch global events, national events, and local events. And our organizations work directly with MPD, and MPD responds with additional resources. And so I know the chief will spend tonight and tomorrow, and we'll be talking to all of our organizations, from schools to synagogues to other organizations, to make sure we are supporting in every way that we can. Yes.
Chris Cameron, the New York Times. You mentioned that the suspect was detained by event security after entering the museum.
Yeah.
Is it correct to say that he surrendered voluntarily to security, or was he forcefully detained?
I don't know that we can say that right now. It's part of what MPD is investigating. Yes.
Hi, Shlomi Zion's Ami Magazine. I have a question for the police chief. I want to know if there was perhaps any indication that something like this might happen. Was there any heightened security or threats that you were aware of? And also for the Attorney General, do you have a message for Jewish Americans who are feeling concerned for their safety tonight?
What I will say to your first question is that we have not received any intelligence with respect to any type of terrorist act or hate crime in our city. As you know, we work very well with all of our partners in the intelligence community. And had we received any information, as we would do any time, we would ensure that we had heightened security around our city at most of our synagogues.
If I could just add, and then General, we have, for a number of years, we put out grants to organizations, and we allow organizations to apply for grants. And there have been a lot of faith organizations that have applied for special security grants. And so we continue to do that in the city. We've been able to deploy millions of dollars so organizations can have increased security.
Mayor, thank you. Chief, thank you. Ambassador, our hearts go out to you and your staff. I spoke to the President of the United States multiple times tonight on behalf of the President. His prayers are with all of us, all of the Jewish community, everyone in Washington, D.C., state, local, and federal agencies, and our great U.S. Attorney, Jeanine Pirro, who will be prosecuting this case. We'll be doing everything in our power to keep all citizens safe, especially tonight, our Jewish community. Our prayers go out. We have the FBI, all of our federal agencies will work hand in hand with you, Chief, as we have done, and you, Mayor, to do everything we can to keep our citizens safe. We will follow the facts, we will follow the law, and this defendant, if charged, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
So, horrible situation. This young people that were about to get married, and they were murdered. The suspect is Elias Rodriguez, 30 years old, from Chicago, and the victim is Yaron and Sarah. I don't know if you guys saw, recently there was a video that Theo Von had posted on Twitter, and it caused a lot of controversy, I guess. And he was talking about Israel, Palestine, but he said he doesn't really know or understand the whole situation. But let me see where it's at. He posted this. Oh, people were mad. Let me show this, and then we'll probably move to the next topic.
I wanted to say something. There's been something that's just been kind of on my heart, and so I feel like I should bring it up. There is, we've had people on the podcast in the past to talk about it. And there's just there's a conflict that's been happening in the Middle East. People know about it. between Israel and Palestine and some of the areas over there, the Gaza area they talk about. And I just think it feels to me, I don't know if it feels to me like it's a genocide that's happening while we're alive here in front of our lives. And I don't, sometimes I feel like I should say something. I'm not a geologist or geographer or anything like that, so I don't know a lot of some of it I do know though. Like I know the basics of the issues over there, but for me, it's just like how I feel like you see all these photos of people, just children, women, people, body parts, just people like putting their kids back together. And I just can't believe that we're watching that and that more isn't said about it. And so I'm not saying anyone else needs to say anything, but I think I'm just that more isn't said about it by me. So I just, I want to be able to speak up about that I think we're watching probably like, one of the sickest things that's ever happened. And I'm sorry if I've kind of haven't said about it. I've tried to talk about it and learn about it. But I don't know. Maybe I just wanted to say something. I don't even know what to do. And it's crazy because our country's also complicit in it. It's in it and has been for a long time. And it's just kind of interesting because then you just realize, oh, well, I'm a member of this country, but I'm just, what we want sometimes doesn't matter, and you just have to be a member of a place and your government is making other choices. So I don't know if I said that correctly, or I don't even know exactly what I said, but I just have, it's just like been making me really sick. And I feel like I just needed to say something that I think you don't have to think that. I'm not asking you to do anything.
How dare you?
But I just have to say that so I'm not sitting by, there's that piece inside of me like, why can't you say something? There's people that can't even speak and you can say something, and so that's how I just had to just speak up. Anyway, yeah. So just praying for those people and just the grief that is all going to cause. Just like what?
So I caught some flack for this. Some people agree, some people disagree, of course. And a damn thing wrong with telling people how you feel. That's yeah. Awesome Juice said, tag the account, I find ours. Did he mention anything about Israel hostages? Then Viva phrase, somebody have to define what a genocide is. And so, I don't know. People like it, people disagree, blah, blah, blah. But it made me think of Theo's video from the other day when I saw this guy that went and shot and killed these two people. All right. We still have so many things to do, so I'm trying to keep it pushing. What we're going to do next is the bomber. There was a bombing, the Palm Springs, the pro-mortalist, the guy that doesn't believe there's any purpose to life, so life is just suffering and pain, so he blew himself up and tried to blow up the fertility with the embryos, which the only thing he succeeded in was causing damage and blowing himself up. There's an update to that story, so let's check it out. Let's pop in for a little bit for that. I'm going to transfer you guys again. I'll drop the link in the chat. Oh, shit, I hit the wrong button. Oops, I don't want to do that. I just wanted to spank you a little bit.